walking around my beautiful island of Bornholm where I live. I'm getting some pretty amazing images and image quality from the camera, but I'm still working out the sound. So as we go along with the films, I'll improve on the sound editing. But rather than spending my time in front of a computer trying to edit sound on my film, I'd rather be out walking and getting some amazing images for folk who either can't get to Bornholm or come from Bornholm or can't get to these beautiful places, have the opportunity to see this in 360 degree. So enjoy my tours. So this is passing through the main gates. And this was once the courthouse of the castle, and it may be the oldest building in the castle. Here the Hammershus moot was held, and the moot was the court of the entire northern part of Bornholm, and there were 2 gallows outside the castle. Down there you can see Hammeren, or Hammer Harbour as it was called, and this was the main supply route for all the supplies coming up to the castle back in the day. It's actually a really nice walk down along to that harbour, so I'll do another film about that another day. So this was the main tower of the castle, and there were holes in the loft of the gateway from which it was possible to shoot and pour boiling slaked lime over the attackers. The mantle tower was also used as a prison. The king's daughter Leonora Christina and her husband, Count Corfitz Ulfeldt, were imprisoned here suspected of high treason. They escaped by means of a rope from a window on the 3rd floor, but were caught again immediately. And actually one of the ferries that used to transport people from Bornholm back to the mainland was called the Leonora Christina, and it was named after this daughter of a king who betrayed the crown. These are just some of the bedrooms and private living quarters of the officers. And the guy that lived in this tower on the left, he was actually the commander, with stairs going up to his private chamber. And this was the downstairs area where you can still see the old oven and kitchen area. Yeah, so it was the Lord Lieutenant's wing, and it is thought to have replaced the mantle tower as a private residence, and that's just what I said about the kitchen, and the remains of a circular baking oven. This is my favourite part of the castle, which is actually the old brewery bakery. So here were the brewery and the bakery of the castle in the Middle Ages. Beer brewing and baking were the responsibility of the women, and close to the scullery was a slaughterhouse, a smokehouse, a salting house, and a cook's workshop. All tools and equipment were manufactured and repaired by the people living in the castle. So it was a pretty sort of busy place in its heyday, and pretty impregnable. It would be very, very difficult to attack a castle like this. A lot of the stone from the castle has actually been pillaged in true Viking style, or taken away by Christian IV in the 17th century. He wanted to build a fortress just off the coast of Bornholm on another island, which is called Christian's or Christian's Island, and I'll do a tour out there in the summer, and we can see where a lot of the stones went to build the fortresses on Christian's Now, I just want to show you this, because down in the water you can actually see a rock formation. I think. I'll have to check that out when I get home. Called The Camel and the Lion. The camel's head and the lion's head. Just make sure I get down the stairs, all right? So these are the sitting and dining rooms of the royalty and the kitchen for the soldiers. And in the Middle Ages, much meat and fish was eaten, twice as much as bread and porridge. Sounds like a great era. The meat was salted, so enormous quantities of beer were required. Another reason why it would have been a great era. A daily ration was at least 6 litres. And it just says in Danish here that Hammershus, the castle, actually consisted of about 50 to 60 men, soldiers in the army. And in 1 year, the army used 11 tonnes of flour, just over half a tonne of rolled oats, 1.2 tonnes of dried peas, 12 tonnes of beef, 6 tonnes of pork, 6 tonnes of lamb, 5 tonnes of salted herring, 10 tonnes of salted cod, and 4 tonnes of dried villing. It's like a white fish, I think. 1.6 tonnes of butter, 1 tonne of vinegar, and half a tonne of now I've just lost the English word. Half a tonne of sauce. So they went through a lot of stuff. Mustard. Over half a tonne of mustard. That's what it was. And in here is the chapel. So this was the chapel. The antechamber, and then this was the chapel itself. And there were 2 floors in the chapel wing. Below the chapel, where the altar and the pulpit were placed in the east end, and above the royal hall, which was for some time the grand room of the castle. By the entrance to the castle is a carved symbol, Saint Laurentius grid, and Laurentius was the patron of the archiepiscopal see of Lund. And there's a lot of towns, well, 2 towns on Bornholm, Oosterlars and Nulars, and they were actually named after the this guy, this saint. So I'm just going to take you for a walk along the battlements now, and then that will finish the tour of Hammershus, one of my favourite places on Bornholm. see how thick and solid these walls are. It's incredible. Once again, all built with no earth moving equipment. Just boggles my mind every time I come here what these people were able to build. So this was the cowshed in here. You can imagine all the cows lined up, ready to be milked. And that's the visitor centre down there as well. That's just been built. It's only open in the summer. Gives quite a fantastic view of the castle, as you can well imagine. And we've got the tower in all its glory. And this was actually a granary here, so you can see that the doors were wide enough for a carriage to pass through. So they could bring the carriage in here, unload the goods and store them here, and then the carriage could drive out the other end. And that tower over there was the prison. It was used as a prison, and also naughty servants were placed in that tower as well. You can actually see a diagram of how the cows and horses were housed. The work horses were housed in that area. Just go to this far corner. So, pretty amazing place. Yeah, so this was called the Plum Tower. Well-preserved building in the castle. It was made about the same time as the there would have been a wooden watchman's gallery on top, and in the basement you can see the dungeon where the prisoners were kept until their case was tried. So the lords of Hammershus in the medieval period probably also used the dungeon for punishing religious leaders. Fair bit of renovation going on, and the society or whatever they are that look after the castle have actually received a grant to renovate the castle. So I hope you've enjoyed the tour, and stay tuned for the next part.